Warning! This program contains irrefutable facts, unapologetically biased opinions, and shameless homerism for the Southeastern Conference and its teams. Misguided fans of other leagues and teams may find some of the information in this broadcast to be disillusioning, deflating, or even offensive.
Welcome back to an exciting week of the starting lineup, along with Kip Keefer, Kai Gregory, Tony Curry. What a monster day we have here at the top of the hour, 11 o'clock. It is Arkansas and Notre Dame. Notre Dame only given a 5.5.
What, Notre Dame is going to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Yeah, smelly fish. We got LSU and Ole Miss coming up here, a pair of 4-0 teams. And, of course, later on tonight, it is going to be the big dog, Alabama at Georgia. Georgia giving up 3.5 between the hedges. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing, man? What a great day of college football here on ABC 3340.
Real teams playing real teams. I'm excited.
You are finally going to know what it's like to when you play somebody, because all year you've been like, they haven't played anybody. Heck, even Penn State is playing somebody today. No Villanova this week.
And I love reading all these articles. So-and-so is averaging 625 yards total offense a game, and so-and-so is throwing for a 90% complete percentage. And I'm asking the question you guys are sick of. Who have they played?
Well,
I could have stats like that.
And that's why it's nice to say that Jalen Kitna for the UAB Blazers right now is fifth in college football and passing through 5 weeks. So that's a nice thing, because you can throw that in there, and of course at the end of the season we'll see what happens. Kai Gregg, of course, Southern Precision Staffing, also of course our K4 brother. We do this show called K4 Wins. The three of us, along with Case Keefer from Las Vegas. Of course, he's out there with the wonderful son. They do wonderful work out there, and we do a handicapping show. Pretty hot on this show, and we'll go through our numbers here a little bit later on. But 8-3 on our show.
Yeah, as a group last week on the bankroll play, 8-3. That's pretty solid. Everybody is getting competitive on that.
Hell, I went 2-1 and I lost.
I got off to a slow start, but he fired up a 2-0 week last week. Get right back in it. So the game is on.
You ever go to Vegas?
We're all chasing the legend.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. You go to Vegas with that guy. He's going to break the bank. He's never been to Vegas. Doesn't know how to bet a game to save his life. He's like, man, I'm going to be doing 5 and 6 game parlays. I'm like, you do your parlays, and they end up winning and making you look like a fool. You're sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning at the $25 table trying to make your mortgage back, and he's at a 5-team parlay and he's done for the week, and you're like, you lucky son of a gun. That's what Legend's doing right now.
All right, guys. I don't want to be to turn things controversial, but game day, our competition here, and I'm glad everybody's with us, because nobody wants to watch game day from Penn State for Oregon, Penn State. Why is that game day not in Athens, Georgia for Alabama, Georgia, the two dominant programs in the country?
Probably because they've been to both Georgia and Alabama more than Penn State and Oregon combined. And, of course, they also, ESPN does, as major markets in both Oregon and, of course, the Penn State area. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those situations where they want to go ahead and spread the glory and the love, and they know that they'll probably be at Alabama or Georgia before the end of the season.
All right, who on our show today is going to wear a Speedo like Pat McAfee last week?
That is not going to happen.
Tony.
By the way, that is
a good call.
We're gonna have our bankroll. By the way, I love that Oregon Penn State.
Okay, well
we're
gonna find out. Bankroll's becoming very popular. So people have been asking me about it. And right now, the leaderboard's competitive, and we're going to find out what everybody's got a little bit later in the show.
I want to thank the Birmingham Racecourse, too, and Casino. Fantastic night. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. I know Kai was out there this past week.
Yep.
We had over 100 folks show up just from the starting lineup crew, but talk about that a little bit. It was fantastic.
We'll have some footage from there coming up a little bit later, and so we got an action-packed show for you before kickoff.
Legends coming up here. Terry Quillian's coming up here. Case with the Heaters from the West. Our bankroll contest and more right here in the top of the hour. It is Notre Dame at Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia later this afternoon. LSU at Ole Miss.
And Terry Quillian's going to talk Bill Belichick.
You know, there you have it. She want to date him too. It's coming up next year on the starting lineup.
More Book It or Bet It, Vegas Book It or Bet It. Case Keefer waiting to hear our next contestant's best play of the week. Tell us your name.
I am Kelly Headley, and I'm the director of the Birmingham Racecourse. And I think that it's going to be Tennessee. They're not going to have any problem with a 7.5-point spread with Mississippi State.
Listen to her. She's got. Well, we might as well call this segment the Don Book It or Bet It, because this is the third time we've had him in for this, but he hasn't lost yet. So
I haven't. Well, until Don goes down, he is a perpetual player. Don, this weekend, what are you going to throw at Case Keefer? He agreed with you last weekend. You both won.
That's true. I'm going off the radar. Take the Toledo Rockets minus 20.5 against Akron Zips.
Vegas Book It or Bet It continues. Kip Keefer here. Our next contestant is
Sharon Yelverton.
Sharon. Who are you a fan of?
Navy.
Oh, the Naval Academy. That's awesome. I used to spend a lot of time in Annapolis as a kid. Who is your best bet of the weekend for Case Keefer to book it or bet it?
Navy over Air Force.
Oh,
Go Navy!
The Commander's Trophy starts to be on play. Navy and Air Force, you've got the middies, so good luck. We'll see what Case Keefer thinks.
Hey, it's Case Keefer back again for another edition of Book It or Bet It. Things are looking up in here overall. We've gone 2-1. I've gone 2-1 in back-to-back weeks. However, both times the only loss was the only bet I booked. You guys are beating me up. I think I'm either 1-4 or maybe 1-5 on the year when I oppose the viewers. Let's see if you can get me again this week. For the first time, we have 4 plays. However, there's going to be a lot of harmony here. Only one game I'm going to oppose. We're going to start with John. Now, I think this game is already settled, but he likes TCU +3 at Arizona State, taking place Friday night in Tempe. And John, if egg is on your face when you're watching this, it's on mine as well, because I also like the Horned Frogs. I've been high on them all the way dating back to the summer. I know Texas Tech kind of the clear favorite in Big 12 right now, rightfully. But to me, I don't think it's any debate who the second best team is, who the one team that I think could conceivably knock them off in the Big 12 championship. It's TCU. This is a tough assignment going up against the reigning conference champions, but I love Josh Hoover. I love McAllister, their receiver. I think their defense is pretty solid under Andy Avalos, even though I know they've gotten into some shootouts, given up some big points totals, but I like TCU. Buy them at every possibility that includes here. Next, we are going to Sharon, who likes Navy laying 14.5 against Rice, and I gotta say, I love this one too. I bet the same number. I know Navy plays really slow, so it's kind of scary to lay these big numbers. But I did it once earlier this year. I laid exactly 14.5 as well, and the number actually moved against me when they played another team from the AAC with a first-year coach that's getting some buzz of being on the way up in Tulsa, but they just stomped Tulsa. I think Blake Horvath, one of the more underrated quarterbacks. Now, I know he's not a traditional quarterback, obviously, at Navy and the way their offense is run, but I think he's a really good player. I think he's going to be able to put up enough to put Rice away. I also just love the matchup for Navy. I know Rice is catching some people off guard with kind of their new age shotgun spread, but if anyone, or shotgun option, excuse me, not the spread, obviously, if anyone can stop the option, shouldn't it be Navy? So I am with you. Navy minus 14.5. Next, we go to Kelly, and Kelly. This is one I'm going to have to book it. I'm betting the first two with our viewers, but I'm booking this one easily. She likes Tennessee laying 7.5 at Mississippi State. I love this Bulldogs team. I have bet on them every week, and they have come through every week for me this year. I think Blake Shapen is extremely underrated, the most underrated quarterback in the SEC for sure. And I was kind of a naysayer last year, but I think Jeff Levy's a super underrated coach. I love what Mississippi State has done. It was not easy to blow the game and come back in the final minutes against Arizona State. A lot of people were picking against them in that Southern Miss game. They took care of business there. They absolutely crushed Northern Illinois last week, crushed their FCS opponent. And that means something at Mississippi State, something that wasn't happening last year. I love Mississippi State, to be honest. I bet this at a much better price. I bet it at open at +9.5. So below 7, it's a little bit tougher, but I'm taking Mississippi State every time. This is one of my teams this year. I will book your bet, Kelly. Give me Mississippi State +7.5. You can have Tennessee. And finally, we are going to Don, who beat me week 1, but last week we teamed up on the same side and cashed on that UAB Tennessee over. Just felt like the only side I could be on. I don't want to book that action. And we are on the same side, again this week. Don, as he likes Toledo, minus 20.5 against Akron. I mean, how could anyone bet Akron at this point? They academic standards so poor, they're ineligible for the postseason, and it really seems like they're not playing for anything. I thought they would be a little bit better this year, but man, they have just been dreadful. Now, I know Toledo's hard to back too. They're coming off a loss to Western Michigan where they absolutely collapsed like they do in one game per year. But I think I mentioned on this show coming into the season that I like Toledo to win the MAC. I did bet that at kind of a low price. I still think they win the MAC, but man, they have no margin for error left after losing that Western Michigan game. At least they can get back on track here. I think they crush Akron. Only thing I'd be a little bit worried about is a backdoor cover, but I will bet that with you, Don, for the second straight week. Give us Toledo minus 20.5. I am also on TCU with you guys, the viewers, as well as the one other game, Navy, and I am booking Kelly's bet with Tennessee versus Mississippi State. Thanks for checking out another edition of Book It or Bet It.
All right, here on the starting lineup, it's time for Point counterpoint, Alabama, Georgia. It's the legend, the ultimate Alabama fan. He's sporting his championship ring. It was supposed to be Terry Quillian in my seat, but she's not available tonight, the ultimate Georgia fan. I'm going to try to fill in the best I can. And let's start the debate on who's going to win this game. Legend, your first point on Alabama winning.
Well, the fact of the matter is, you ask Maury, you ask Jerry Springer, you ask anybody that's ever delivered a baby, and they will tell you that Alabama is Georgia's daddy, Kip.
Oh.
That is the main reason. It's a mindset, a mindset. You see that ring? That's why we will win it, Kipper.
All right, counterpoint. Kirby Smart, 50-4 in Athens, 33 wins in a row. All right, I'm going to get to the next point why Georgia is going to win this game. Georgia Bulldogs. Everybody says that they are subservient to the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is the first time in the Kirby Smart era at Georgia that Alabama has played in Sanford Stadium.
Well, I will say this. My counterpoint is that Georgia's got a bunch of 5'8" cornerbacks, and they about to get roasted because we about to go downfield twice as much as Tennessee did. We about to max protect, and Ty Simpson is about to snap, Kip. We don't care about a blackout, a dog out, whatever. We about to rub you out, Georgia, come Saturday night.
Okay, well, it's your turn to your next point. Why Alabama will win?
My next point is that Kirby Smart turns into Kirby Dumb every time he plays Alabama. It goes back to a mindset. When the Lakers used to play the Celtics, they didn't act right. When the Mets used to play the Yankees, they didn't act right. They didn't coach right. And when Georgia plays Alabama, Kipper, they don't think right. They don't act right. They go from Kirby Smart to Kirby Dumb.
Georgia has, to counterpoint, Georgia has won 2 national championships since Alabama won their last one.
My next point, Kip, and you can counterpoint this one. My next point is that Gunnar Stockton is overrated as a quarterback. He is not a great quarterback. He is an average quarterback that got lucky to the fact that the Tennessee coach lost his mind and went conservative in that game, or he already have a loss. Coach DeBoer will not make that mistake. I will talk to him before the game. He will be ready, Kip.
My counterpoint is that I think these teams are very comparable talent-wise, very similar situations at quarterback, very similar situations in their receiving cores and their overall talent structure. So I think the determining factor, the tipping point, Georgia playing at home, which they have not gotten to do against Alabama in the Kirby Smart era.
And the counterpoint that is that Cam Womack, whatever they call you, you must push pressure on Gunnar Stockton. Don't sit there and look at him. Look to go after him and put pressure on him. Also, Zachariah Branch must be dealt with and accounted for on every friggin' play. Take away Branch the way Belichick loves to take away the best player on the team. Do that Saturday night. Take Branch out of the equation, and Alabama walks out with a victory.
And finally, Georgia needs to hit Hollywood hard and often in that game. Hollywood is a game breaker, but I don't think he likes the contact very much. It's going to be a great game. Point counterpoint, Alabama, Georgia. Enjoy it, everybody. This is going to be a fantastic game.
Welcome back to the starting lineup. I'm Terry Quillian, and you are in the Coach's Corner. This week we have Bill Belichick, whose UNC Tar Heels fell to UCF 34-9 on Saturday. And this is after an opening game against TCU that they lost 48-14. Now, they have managed to win their 2 interleaving games that were there. One was against Charlotte. I think they're the 49ers. And the other one was against the Richmond Spiders. So things not looking so good in Chapel Hill right now. To give you an idea of where things stand right now, UNC in the ACC, which those of us that are SEC fans would say is not the most powerful conference in college football. In the ACC right now, UNC is dead last in total offense, dead last in passing offense, dead last in third down conversions, and next to the bottom in terms of total offense. Not exactly a sterling record going forward right now. And it's really interesting because I don't think the UNC boosters and fans have exactly gotten what they thought they were getting with Bill Belichick. Before the season started, what they thought they were getting was the 6-time Super Bowl winning coach who was really known for the disciplined manner he ran the team and the Patriot way that Bill Belichick coined. What they've gotten has sort of been a hot mess. And it's interesting because at Fox Sports, we had Aaron Torres who was talking this week about how the coaching staff is nepotistic. He says that when you look at the coaching staff, what you see is that Bill Belichick has 2 sons on the coaching staff, one who does have a lot of coaching experience, one with very little coaching experience. You have the GM of the team's son, Matt, who has 1 year as an analyst in college football on the coaching staff, and a bunch of NFL former players with little to no coaching experience. So you have a coaching staff that really doesn't know what they're doing in college football. And hey, how about that disciplined nature of things? Well, back when Bill was at the Patriots, he refused to let Tom Brady and Ron Gronkowski's personal trainer come into the Patriots facility because he said it would be too big of a distraction. Seriously? That's Bill Belichick talking about distractions? How about the distraction of his 24-year-old girlfriend parading around on the sidelines during team warm-ups, talking to Bill in her hot pants and her high-heeled boots? We don't think that Jordan's a distraction at all? Let's look at distractions. Bill could have spent this summer deciding to learn more about the college game and how it might be different from his experience in the pros. He could have called a lot of the leading college football coaches. You're assuming they'd take a phone call from Bill Belichick, right? He could have been studying. He could have been working. But what was he doing? He was on a book tour and doing a very cringy interview with CBS with Jordan. Complete lack of discipline going on there. Folks at UNC are not happy, and it's interesting. Before the season started, their biggest concern was, what if Bill left? What was the amount that Bill was going to have to pay UNC if he decided to void that 5-year, $10 million a year contract? Well, on June 1st, the amount he would owe to UNC dropped to $1 million. That's not the concern right now. The concern is how much UNC would have to owe Bill Belichick if they cut ties. And you know what? He's got 3 years fully guaranteed at $10 million. So even if they keep him till the end of the season, it's at least a $20 million buyout that you got going on there. So I tell you what, best of luck, Tar Heels.
Welcome to the Legend Cave. I got 1 minute to tell you, baby, that's the National Championship ring right there. And the day is the National Championship Day. It's Georgia Day, and you can call Maury, you can call Jerry Springer, you can call whoever you want to. They will tell you the same thing. Alabama is Georgia's daddy. That's right. Kirby Smart is 1-6 against Alabama. There's a reason he's 1-6, because daddy spanks that butt every time he sees him. And as J.K. says, Baba Hater, I hate to quote Baba Hater, but he turns from Kirby Smart to Kirby Dumb every time he sees us coming down that tunnel. That's right, baby. Look at that ring. That's what we are. We're champions, baby. We've done it many times, and we'll take you down today, Georgia. Get ready for the game of the year. Alabama's coming. Alabama 41. Georgia 31. Remember, the legend told you. Bear backs me up right here in the Legend Cave. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like Legend. Sports Insight.
Starting lineup, you never knew who's going to be in the starting lineup. And the one thing we can tell you about is we're always winner chicken dinners around here. Kai Gregory from K4 Wins, K4Wins.com. We've been on fire this year. Tell us our numbers, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Last Saturday, 19-3 on Saturday. 20
against the spread. Boom. Against the spread.
Against the spread, including our third straight triple play. We've hit 3 weeks in a row. Hit that. 42-11 to start the season on college football. We were 28-9 last week, and year to date we're 805 and 429.
That's crazy.
Holy cow!
Go to K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com. Do it now, and you'll be very, very happy. You can thank us next week right here in the starting lineup.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. We have liftoff of Season 9 of The Morning After. Terry Quillian and Kip Keefer at the controls, delivering a payload of unlimited, invaluable information and entertainment pinpoint analysis, and unique perspective unavailable anywhere else in the universe. A supersonic show in an orbit all of its own. If you love college football and fun, get on board. Boldly going where no football show has gone before.
Hipster, are we there yet?
On our way, Tare. Definitely on our way.
Hey, it's Case Keefer back again for another edition of the Vegas Heaters. I'm a longtime sports bettor, sports betting writer, and assistant sports editor for Greenspun Media Group, which includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly. And how about last week in this segment? 4-1-1 overall when you combine my Vegas Heaters plays with the bankroll plays that tie into the rest of the competition on the bigger show. Set a high bar. Gotta say, I'm still in an uphill battle as far as the Vegas Heaters, the plays I give at the beginning. We have a losing record on the year, but a 2-1 was a step in the right direction and been red hot in the bankroll plays. Hopefully not jinxing it, but going to try to give 3 more winners this week. I don't think I've lost since week 2. We've had a couple pushes, but otherwise all winners. Let's start with those 3 Vegas Heaters plays. And I always like to have a little bit of a theme here. While Los Angeles is known for the greatest of all time, Tupac, but today I have a 3-pack of plays on Los Angeles teams. I know that probably didn't exactly land, but that's what I'm going with. All LA teams, of course, starting in the NFL. The Los Angeles Rams, 3.5-point favorite, hosting the Indianapolis Colts. I'm looking for spots to buy against the Colts. I've heard so many people say this week, what if this is for real? What if Shane Steichen really did bring the best out of Daniel Jones? I think he has brought the best out of him. I think this will probably be a playoff team. They're good, but I'm not buying what they've done so far. They beat up on the Dolphins, who look like a mess right now. Last week, they beat up on the Titans, who are just the worst team we've seen in the NFL in several years. They're not going to keep clicking at this level. I've been impressed by the Rams defense. Jared Verse is an absolute game breaker. I think this is the spot where it kind of screeches to all. Always hate laying 3.5, but 3.5 with the Rams sounds good. Now going all the way across the country with the Chargers, I am laying 6 with them playing at the Giants. And this all has to do with Jackson Dart, who I actually was super high on. I thought he deserved that first round grade. I think long term I would be buying stock on him. But it is just a rule in the NFL. Rookie quarterbacks almost never get off to good debuts. We had historically great rookie quarterbacks the last couple of years in the NFL. Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud. Even they didn't start off strong. I know Jaden Daniels kind of started to figure out week 2. C.J. Stroud, it took a couple weeks. I just do not see Jackson Dart stepping in against a defense this good and being able to do much. I'm still a little skeptical on the Chargers. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl or a Super Bowl contender like people are saying, but there's going to come a time to bet against them. It is not here, not against a rookie quarterback. Chargers -6. Those two might have been easy to swallow, but the final one will not be, I assure you that. I'm taking UCLA +7 at Northwestern. Now, Northwestern, of course, at the makeshift stadium they're playing in at Lake Michigan. It's windy all the time, low-scoring games. Just, you can't lay big numbers anywhere, I feel like, on this field. You saw it a couple weeks ago. Oregon kind of let off the gas, didn't even cover the 28-point spread. But Northwestern has no offense. Preston Stone is a shell of himself. You could not lay 7 with this team right now. UCLA had a bye week. Interim coach Tim Skipper stepping in, who I don't think is the answer. I don't think he's a long-term coach, but he was here at UNLV a long time. I know him a little bit. He's a fiery guy. I think the guys will play for him. I think UCLA stays within 7. So UCLA, Chargers, and Rams for the Vegas Heaters picks as far as the bankroll plays. Let's get to it. I got 1 NFL, 2 college football this week. For the NFL, I am going to Atlanta and taking the Falcons +2. I've been really good on the Falcons this year, just zigzagging. Not a well-coached team. Seem like they make a lot of mistakes, but Washington's just so beaten up. Cluster injury in the defensive backfield. Cluster injury at defensive line. Jaden Daniels probably not playing. Terry McLaurin hurt. I really like the Falcons' talent. I think they get it done. Falcons +2. Finally, sticking in Atlanta, I guess we have a theme here too. I'm taking Wake Forest +14.5 against Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech's a great story. People talking about them winning the ACC, going to the playoffs. I'm pumping the brakes just a little bit. This isn't a team that wins by margin. You see how they play Haynes King running over people, tough-nosed, gritty. Wake Forest also coming off of a bye. Did some good things in that NC State game. I think they are going to have a chance to get it together here. So Wake Forest, my final pick. Everyone loves action on the final game kicking off. How about Colorado +7 hosting BYU? How tough of a trip for this is BYU? They go all the way to East Carolina, took care of business, back to Provo, now at Colorado at a late kickoff game. Colorado finally has the right quarterback taking all the snaps in former Liberty quarterback Caden Zalter. I like Colorado +7 to go with Wake Forest and the Atlanta Falcons. Those are the bankroll picks. Let's see what everyone else has.
Welcome back to Starting Lineup. Kip Keefer, Tony Curry, the legend, and Kai Gregory from Southern Precision Staffing and K4 Winners. Man, normally if you go 7-4 in a season, and Kip, I know you're hitting lights out, you'd be in pretty good shape. And you and I aren't even leading the thing right now because these two
the Legend brothers have been like the blitzkrieg the last couple of weeks with their parlay bombs. and they have bolted up to the top of the scoreboard. And Case Keefer in Las Vegas hasn't missed a game in 3 weeks.
I expect it from a guy who does it for a living, but not from this one right here. So we're going to start with the legend. He's not a scrub. He's my brother. Well, okay, man. I'm just jealous of you is what it is. You know, I did sports radio for 25 years, and you beat me. I'm not happy about it. Who you got?
The Legend Brothers last week. Once again, now the 2-team parlay. And this week, we bring you the 3-team parlay of the year. That's right. We're going for the big money, ladies and gentlemen. The big money. 3-team parlay of the year. We like Oregon plus the 3.5 against Penn State. We like LSU. The wrong team is favored in Oxford. We like LSU plus the 2. And we like Indiana plus the 8, minus the 8. Minus the 8 against Iowa. 3-team parlay of the year from the Legend Brothers, LSU, Oregon, and Indiana.
Kipper Doodle, what you got?
I probably not standing in a real good spot to make this call. But I'm sorry, 50-4 in Sanford Stadium, 33 wins in a row. Georgia right now at 3.5. I'm sorry, Crimson Tide Nation. My son and my money went to Alabama, but Georgia is going to beat the Tide on Saturday night in Athens. Ooh. I am going the Georgia doubleheader. I'm taking Georgia minus the 3.5. And on Sunday, I'm pivoting to the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Washington Commanders. I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to play. The Falcons are schizophrenic. They're getting 3.5. Give me the 2-game parlay. Athens, Georgia, and the Atlanta Falcons, the all-Georgia 2-gamer.
From K4 Wins and Southern Precision Staffing, Kai Gregory, you got?
So many games. I'm going to go with the Georgia-Alabama game over the 52.
Okay.
I like that. I'm gonna stick with the legend there, and I like LSU plus the 2. And then I'm just going to go with those two, 75 each. I got a lot of other games I love, but those two are sticking out.
I'm 7-4 in the season. I give you 3 plays every week just so I can go spread around a little bit. I do agree with you on the Oregon Ducks. I love you. I do love you. I'm going to take Oregon Ducks plus 3.5. They're averaging 50 points a ball game. Their defense is only giving up 9 points at Penn State. Penn State's 1-4 against the spread, 2-5 the last 7 games where they've been favored by 3 or more points. I'm going to take the Oregon Ducks. I'm going to go behind Dominic and Richardson. He is the running back for those Tulsa boys. I'm going to go, I'm going with the Hurricanes plus 15.5. You kidding me? 15.5 against Tulane. I'm going to take Tulane. By the way, they rush top 10 in the country. They are defensively one of the worst teams in the country. And then I can't believe I'm doing this because I picked South Carolina earlier in the year to go to the playoffs. I am totally jumping off that ship, man. I am off the Titanic. Lenore Sellers, not the guy we thought. He's been sacked 14 times the last 3 games. There's a problem in Houston. I got news for you. South Carolina's going down. I would take Kentucky money line. But if I can get him plus 7, it's at 5.5. If I can get it up to 7, I'm feeling really good about the Wildcats. So I'm going Kentucky plus 5.5, Tulsa plus 15.5, and the Oregon Ducks plus the 3.5 right here in the starting lineup. We'll see what happens, gentlemen. Good luck to you, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy Arkansas and Notre Dame up next right here in the starting lineup.
The race is on.